Hello, today I will be talking about assignment number 2 for organizational leadership. About me. My name is Elena Romero. I was born on July 7th, 1994. I'm 21 years old and I have a dog named Marco. He's right here in this oval picture. I have one sister who lives in Albuquerque with my mom, and my dad lives in Phoenix. More about me. The most unique thing about myself is I love to talk and I love to socialize. I'm a crazy social butterfly. I have good communication skills with people. What I see in the future is hopefully becoming an FBI agent and investigating different types of crime scenes and getting into murder investigations. How I plan on achieving this goal is by finishing my degree, getting into the police department, getting 4 years of experience, and then applying for the FBI Academy. So I did my presentation on Luis Inácio Lula da Silva. Luis was born on October 27, 1945. He was born in a small town in Brazil and had 8 siblings. His father left the family to marry another woman. Luis grew up in a poor environment. The family had very little money and no running water or electricity. He was a poor immigrant from rural Brazil with a 4th grade education, HAL 168. Luis married Marisa Leticia Casa, who was a school secretary. He was an officer of his union and a leader. More on Luis Inácio Lula da Silva. Now, you're probably wondering who Luis Inácio Lula da Silva is. Well, he was the president of Brazil from January 2003 to January 2011. Luis is also known as Lula, and he was the 35th president of Brazil. When he left office in 2011, he had an 87% approval rating. Luis transformed Brazil from an underachieving economy to a member of the global economic community. Luis wanted to get his people out of poverty. One task in Luis's first term was the Zero Hunger program, which created food banks and cooperatives for the poor, improved access to Social Security benefits, minimum income guarantees, increased minimum wage, and incentives for children to attend school. His main goal was to eliminate hunger. Luis also directed the creation of a ministry for racial equality. This was a major program to improve housing for the poor, a program to provide government land for the landless, and expanded the National Health Service to make it more accessible to the poor. It is said on page 174 of Snapshots of Great Leaders that Lula's leadership can be described as highly charismatic/transformational due to his inspiring rhetoric, his vision for eliminating hunger and starvation and improving his lives of all Brazilians, and his role modeling for young people regardless of their social economic status. Lula is most known for creating social programs that pulled about 25 million people out of poverty and added almost 30 million people to the middle class. He would give speeches about his early life and his apologies to African governments for Brazil's involvement in the 18th and 19th century slave trade that made people cry. Lula was a great leader in my opinion because he had a lot of determination, sociability, and integrity. Now this is a quote that I found online. It is something that Lula said. Hunger is actually the worst weapon of mass destruction. It claims millions of victims each year. Lula or Luis, he was a big advocate on hunger. He wanted to make sure no one went unfed, and he wanted to make sure everyone lived a good life, the life that everyone should live. Extra credit, link to reality. So, I link this to reality by doing some research on Barack Obama because, in my opinion, I thought he was a good president. Barack Obama was born on August 4, 1961 in Hawaii. Barack's mother was Caucasian and from Kansas. His dad was African American and he was from Kenya. Barack went to Harvard Law School. Before Barack became president, he lived in Chicago, where he helped his community, just like Luis, by working with churches to help rebuild communities devastated by the closure of local steel plants. Being in Senate, he helped cut taxes for working families and expanded healthcare for children and their parents. He was the 44th President of the United States. He was elected November 4, 2008, and was sworn in on January 20, 2009. He was re-elected in 2012. Just like Luis or Lula, he completed 2 terms. His term will end January 2017. And that is the end of my presentation.